Hello, it's October 27, 2023. It's now 6 p.m. I'm sorry, I made a boo boo a while ago. Um, let's discuss the markets, okay? Are the bears still in control? Let's answer that question by going over a lot of charts, okay? Okay, all right. State of the markets. Okay, so we begin with the state of the markets by looking at the Chinese A shares, and we can see that the Chinese A shares are trading below 200-day moving average, which means that China is still very weak after topping in 2021. It tried to rebound in 2022 and 2023, but all of those rebounds have been failing, and until 2023, as of today, is still trading at the lows near COVID. So it's very, very weak for China. And yes, you will find bargains, but from a charting perspective, it is very weak. We have to be patient, and we cannot actually expect anything much from Chinese shares at the moment. Any rallies will still be considered an oversold rebound and just a relief rally. Okay, so the S&P 500, let's take a look at that. It's trading below 200-day moving average. That means that your S&P 500, you have the bears still in control after the breakdown from 420. Now, because there is a breakdown on your S&P 500, it means today that any rallies from oversold rebound will be met with pressure at the 420 and furthermore at 440. So any rallies on S&P will now be seen more as a counter trend, wherein the short-term trends of S&P 500 since July is in the bear's control. So right now, the majority will still try to find a rally to sell when it rallies towards 420 and 440. It can rebound tonight from 410 or 400, but rallies will be met with some selling pressure. Now, this is your QQQ. Although this one might find support at 330 area, at that 340 area, because it's near the 200-day moving average, take note that we have been seeing the disappearing or the evaporating of gains in the QQQ. Therefore, we can see that rallies on the QQQ, the NASDAQ, will also have some tremendous selling pressure towards 350, 360, and 370. So there will be supports at 330 and 320, but be careful about that because those supports will end up being like falling knives so far, no? Because we've got a lot of selling pressure as well as it goes up. Let's take a look at the expanded tech software sector. This index will highlight other stocks in the technology space that are not necessarily Microsoft, Google, and so on. You can see that all the rest of the expanded tech software is not as strong as your Nvidia's. It's still below 200-day moving. It's actually nearing below 200-day, no? So it's nearing or touching that 320 level so far. And you can see that it actually had a resistance at 360, which is also your March 2022 and your April 2022 highs. So it's actually at lower highs. Not all your technology space are very, very strong. Let me see if you guys are able to hear my audio na po. Yes, hallelujah. All right. So I made a mistake a while ago. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's still continue the class. So Russell 2000, to understand the sector or the state of the markets, we have to look at the 2000 companies, the index. And so far, the small companies are still hovering near the lows. So since it's trading near the lows, yes, it can rebound tonight or tomorrow or next week. But you can see that the weakness, whenever a stock or an index trades near the support, that means that it's very weak, and any rallies towards 180 will be still seen with a lot of resistances. So far, what we're only going to be gaining within the next few days or tonight is just a potential relief rally or an oversold bounce, but nothing more than that because the trend is still the friend, and the trend for Russell 2000 is unfortunately still to the downside. It's sideways to the downside. This is your microcap ETF. When you see that it's trading below 200-day moving average, that blue line there is 200-day moving average. Clearly, we're seeing that microcaps, the bears are still the kings for the microcaps, in 2022 and 2023. Since 2021, it's still going down. No? So 3-year lows na rin si microcaps. So if you're wondering why is it that this company in C Limited, for instance, it's still going down, or Unity is still going down, a lot of the small companies are indeed still being sold off. Unfortunately, a lot of microcaps have not found any footing yet. This is your semiconductor names, and so far as well, there's something important that we have to share. The semiconductor index is the stocks comprising Nvidia, AMD, Broadcom, ASML, ACMR. These stocks, however, are showing weakness. In fact, only Nvidia and Avgo are the ones that are very strong. Nvidia and Broadcom are the ones that are strong. The rest are actually very weak, no? Taiwan Semiconductor is weak. AMD is weakening. And as you can see here, it has recently broken below the April and May highs. And it looks like Philadelphia Semiconductor Index is now hovering at the 3-1. And rallies will be met with some selling pressure. So we are already seeing a change in nature on semiconductor names. What it means is that this is your semiconductor bear. As it just recently broken above this 11.6, take note that this might actually signal that from $11.60 for semiconductor bears or SOXS, this can now potentially rally towards 17.50 or 18. So in essence, we're now seeing that not everyone is of the agreement that NVIDIA, AMD, and all these semiconductors are buys. Nowadays, we're seeing a change in character, guys, wherein the market is now agreeing that, yeah, the bears are correct, and the bears may actually be found further more convicted or conviction, especially in 2024, when all these recessionary signals will come to fruition. So a lot of people are saying nagkakadelay lang, the American consumers are cash strapped. And nowadays, we're seeing all the good news being sold off and sold off and sold off. And that is typically what happens in a bearish market. If all the good news are being ignored, if any company like Google and Meta reporting great numbers are being sold off, or if Amazon right now, pre-markets, it's up 5%, but let's say by the end of the day, all those gains are wiped out, just like what happened with Microsoft, we may see that bearishness continue. So you have to listen that or observe that, okay, the market is basically ignoring all the good news. And right now, the way to make money is to actually be on the bearish side. And the bearish side means that you have to be on the sell side, sell rallies, and so on, or buy or look at inverse names. No, this is an inverse name. It looks like after almost ano ba to, from June until November, June till October. So that's more than a year already. Sorry, hindi pala. This is June. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just 5 months, no? So 5 months na. The market was just trying to distribute. It looks like nagkakaroon ng distribution sa semiconductor. And after the distribution, nag-break out si semiconductor bear. Nag-accumulate si semiconductor bear, which means nagkaroon ng distribution, guys, sa mga NVIDIA. Okay? So this is your ACMR. You can see that ACMR, although it went higher highs this October, this 2023, take note that it's actually below your 2022 and 2021. So it's still at lower highs, no? From $48 to $38 to about $22. So we can see na magkakaroon ng significant resistance si ACMR and might actually, even if mag-rally pa yan sa 22 or 27, it's still actually at lower highs. So ingat lang, these are actually potentially fake rallies. ACMR is potentially actually in a downtrend, longer-term downtrend. Now, we know that NVIDIA is the one that carried the semiconductor industry all the way higher, even the S&P 500, even the NASDAQ. So it was being carried away by NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA has been still strong. However, take note that with the entire semiconductor industry weak, I think that this is just the last general or the super monster. I think pinaka-strong that will be the last boss to be defeated. So is it true that everyone is crowding towards NVIDIA? The answer is yes, because this is the strongest king in the industry. But as you can see, if this one suddenly breaks below 375, this is also going to be, when the king is defeated, what else is there to happen? The bears will feast. So the king right now, NVIDIA is still a winner, but it can actually change by 2024. Be on the watch side, especially on $375 and $350, because if this NVIDIA breaks down by 2024, then sayonara, diba? This entire AI fueled rally is just like a massive bull run for Nvidia that is also going to decline come 2024 or 2025. Watch out for that. This is Avgo or Broadcom. Yes, just like Nvidia, this has been the strong one, rallying from as low as 400 to as high as 920. It's still above 200-day, and we're not saying that we're not party poopers. But if we see that Nvidia is already prop going down from 500 to 400, this might also go down from 920 to 760. So we're already seeing signs of weakness. This is your AMD. Signs of weakness are there. You can see that AMD stopped advancing at $130, no matter if there was news about Microsoft creating a microchip with them or a semiconductor chip with AMD for AI. You see that it's lower highs, 160 and 130s. And right now, AMD is also below $100, even if there are significant good news that is being shared, no, AMD with Microsoft. And actually there were a lot of news pa last week that they were providing more AI chips to compete with Nvidia. No, so far we're seeing all those bad good news is being ignored, and whenever good news is being ignored, guys, that's a sign of a bearish market. So far, more and more, we're seeing evidence na nagpa-pile up yung evidence na, oh, good news is being ignored. Good news is being ignored. Ganda ng earnings ng Google and Meta, ignored, sold. Ganda ng earnings ng Microsoft, ignored, sold. Okay, so this is Marvel Technology. Look at what happened after the gap up last June, after hitting $68, lower highs and lower highs. Now, actually, all those gains were fizzling, no, in just 3 months, 4 months, no, from June, July, August, September, October, some 3 months, some 4 months, some 5 months. Over the last 5 months, bumabagsak yung market. So Marvel Technology is now already trading below 50, and we expect actually that rallies on Marvel Technology over 55 and 60 will be sold off. So we could actually be on the sell side for every earnings date. We are on the sell side. If it rallies. So take note as well, Intel tonight beats expectations, no? $35 pre-market. But as we've seen, sometimes the strong gains are fizzling out, no? So be watchful then na even if Intel gains tonight 35 or even hitting 40, it may actually be the last hurrah and people will just sell those gains and take profits. This is Taiwan Semiconductor. Right now it's trading at $87. What have we seen on TSM? TSM is the partner of Nvidia, no? So we're seeing that they are actually falling off from 145, 112. These are lower highs. And take note that the 112 resistance this year is actually the support on 2021. So if the support becomes resistance, that is again a bearish sign. Like now, support yung 420 ng SPY, naging resistance. So it will happen that it may be for now until next 3 months hanggang year end, baka hindi na talaga mag-rally S&P 500, and any rallies towards 42, 4250 SPY will just be sold off and sold off and sold off by the market. Okay, this is Skyworks Solution. Takes note what's happening in the semiconductors, hovering lower and lower. No, 2023 Skyworks is 123. Even with the AI fueled rally, this never rallied. 123. This is 110. Now it's trading at $88. Look at Corvo. It's also trading very low here at 106. Now trading at 86. This is Applied Materials. This might actually go down below 50, below 200-day moving average. After rallying from 73 to 156, it's giving up all those gains. And ingat lang, because when this 200-day moving average breaks down, you know that nothing good happens. After the break of 131, this can go 120 and 109. And when we're seeing the entire industry already selling off, this is a little bit, it's going to be weak. Ingat tayo. Qualcomm, okay, sometimes we like the stock on Qualcomm, but what can we say about the chart of Qualcomm? Over the last 3 years, Qualcomm has been very much a dog or a laggard. Nothing happening, no? And it's been actually been sold off all the way this year. 2023 at 140 sold off, 130 sold off. And nowadays, it might even break below the $100 and it even trade at $90. Ingat lang, because these types of resistances are there, and sometimes there are great companies that are being sold off. Qualcomm is one of them. It pays a dividend. But from the chart perspective, this one is actually showing to us that in the semiconductor industry, only NVIDIA, Avgo are one of those few names that are trading strongly. The rest in the sector are very weak. And maybe that AI-fueled rally can never lift or offset the difficulties in the entire PC shipments and phone shipments. Again, this is also proving that Apple is actually potentially a short kasi nga there's weakness and tepid sales for Apple. This is ASML. It's trading at $591, also below moving averages. This is your connected TV and toys. Comcast Corporation just traded below 8%, and that is a breakdown on the 200-day moving average. Comcast Corporation is the owner of CNBC, owner of Peacock, owner of Universal Studios. So just like how weak Disney is, it's possible that Comcast Corporation might actually trade all the way down towards $30, all the way towards its 2022 and 2023 lows. No, so ingat lang because nowadays we're seeing really the bears are back from their hiding caves and they're just growling and really beating down the markets. How do we benefit from these bearish control? Number one, rallies. You should expect good news to be sold. And number two, expect bad news to be sold off furthermore. Kaya right now, talagang the bad news, pag nagkaroon ka ng bad news, mas grabe yung sell-offs. This is Roku. We're seeing na all the gains were fizzling, no? From $40, this rallied all the way to 100, and yet all those gains fizzled out. After July 31, everything, August, September, October, just like magic, bumagsak siya. Seasonally, August, September, October is really weak. And seasonally, we do find bottomish areas on October and November. However, with the market characteristic na even if ang mangyayari lang guys is, even if we find a near-term support this end of October or even in November, even if we find oversold rebound, it may not last. That is something that you have to take in consideration. We can buy maybe at $50 on Roku, but we should be aware na at 65, tremendous selling pressure. Also, we don't even know if Roku at $50 will get supported. It may even hit $40 before hitting, so far, we just see na the pattern is broken and broken and broken. Bumabagsak lahat ng supports. This is Mattel. In the toy company, no matter how strong the movies of Barbie was for the year, that has not been enough to make Mattel go higher highs or higher lows. We're still seeing Mattel, the toy company, hovering here at $18. It even briefly hit as low as $16, no? Low of 16.2. So we're seeing na people are, there is a panic sell on Mattel. You're seeing that volume. There's strong volume on the panic sell. But maybe that panic sell will also have a lot of selling pressure even as Mattel goes higher towards $20, $21. This is actually a sign of a breakdown. This is quite weak. It broke down $20. Look at Hasbro as well, another toy peer, also trading at 2020 COVID lows. So we're seeing actually that if toys are not prioritized, it's very clear to us that the Americans are sobrang cash strapped, no? The global economy, there's not much going towards the purchase of toys. Children are not getting a lot of or receiving a lot of so the sales, no, its volume is small, so Hasbro and Mattel are being sold off. Charter Communications, you know that there has been dispute with Disney, no, on the cable TV, and looks like Charter Communications is going down and down and down from $800 to $500 and now below 450. It's now trading at 413. It looks to me that although there might be sideways pattern, it could actually rebound from 400 to 460. It looks like a lot of selling pressure nonetheless at 480s, and so far hindi nga nakaka 480 at 460 lang, marami ng tremendous selling pressure for Charter Communications. The trade desk, you can see na binantahan din siya after rallying from 40 to $90. More importantly, the trade desk is going down from 80s to 70s and 60s ngayon. So far, for those who need to understand, the trade desk's business is in programmatic advertising. Perhaps one of the reasons why Google and Meta are also being sold off is the outlook for next year on digital advertising might not be as rosy as what happened for 2023. Because if the overall clients are having a hard time in selling, then they may not actually allocate that much advertising going forward. So we'll see about that. Pero we're already seeing signs na the digital advertising climate might also become weaker. So that's why if you're wondering why Meta and Google are being sold off, sometimes the market is not looking at today's earnings, but on the future earnings. And 2024 might actually be a little bit of uncertain for them. No. Okay, this is Walt Disney. Walt Disney is hovering at 2020 lows. Actually, at I think this is trading already at 10-year lows. We note that Walt Disney has tremendous pressure on debts. Ano yung utang? Because they acquired 20th Century First, no? The company of Rupert Murdoch. Take note that Walt Disney has had a lot of acquisitions over the years. No, they acquired in just the last 15 years. They own Marvel, they own Pixar, they own Lucasfilms, and now a $70 billion acquisition on 20th Century First, no, Fox. Now these acquisitions, they are also in a Disney Streaming Plus na they have a lot of content and they don't know yet how to make money on that content. So far, Disney Streaming Plus is still losing money. So if you're wondering why Walt Disney is trading at these lows, in fairness, yes, it's a quality company, it's a well-run business, but currently those movies and theatrical releases have all flopped. We don't have a lot of good news to share in Walt Disney so far, and it's being reflected today at those prices. Whether 2024 and 2025 will do better for Walt Disney, it depends on whether you're zooming out or closely looking at the quarters. The quarters on Disney, we cannot say much except na as Nelson Peltz, the activist today, is saying, Walt Disney has to perhaps reduce cost. They have to do a lot in the workers' strike. We know about the Hollywood strike and the writers' strike, and because those costs will be rationally spent next year or next year, yes, only if they crack the year of efficiency that Meta did to themselves. If Walt Disney becomes an efficient streamer, then it may actually rally and reverse by next year. So far, I think it's going to take about a year for Walt Disney to find the right pricing, to beat all their competition. And, it's going to take time, diba? And Disney has been so far raising ticket prices as well for their Disneyland tickets, cruise lines, and so on. This is Netflix. We saw an oversold bounce on their good earnings. However, I should take note that the earnings is just a rally towards $400. And actually, Netflix might actually get sold off at 440. And take note, this 400 to 440 area is quite the resistance as well. No, maraming resistance at 440, mas maraming resistance at 480. How do we play Netflix? To be fair, I think Netflix, the way to play this is to be on the sell side if it rallies towards 440 and 480. You may be able to create some bearish spreads if it rallies, especially at those levels, no? Cybersecurity names right now kasi there's a lot of war, and we know that defensive for others is to bet on cybersecurity. We know that warfare today is not just physical warfare, but really happening in hacking, a lot of bank accounts, etc. So Palo Alto Networks has become a safe haven, much like what happened to Magnificent Seven and Nvidia. Now, I think Palo Alto Networks is one of those few names that the market's really parang trying to save, no? That's the last generals to call it like that, no? Nvidia, Palo Alto Networks, those are the few last Mohicans na talagang malakas. However, as we said, even these last generals will eventually fail. We know that so far, Palo Alto Networks, dalawa lang mangyari dyan. Yes, it might prove to rebound at $200. No, it's been the strong one. People like to buy the strong ones, the strength. But as the time goes by, we should note na even the strong ones also fail and are not immune towards the entire macroeconomy. So we'll see, no? But so far, it looks like Palo Alto Networks, healthy correction lang yan, just like what's happening in NVIDIA. So far, Palo Alto Networks and NVIDIA, healthy correction. Let's take a look at e-commerce and retail segment. E-commerce, we see Sea Limited, Southeast Asian, Shopee is still below moving averages. Really, all the growth stocks have been killed. More so for Sea Limited, talagang patay na patay, no? For some names, no, companies like Sea Limited, some people are trying to be bargain hunting. This rebounded from $35 on announcement that TikTok in Indonesia might actually be banned. While that would be good news for Sea Limited, sending the shares from 35 to 46, 45. Recently, it's now hovering at 40, 41. We still think that Sea Limited is not out of the woods. Why is it not out of the woods? Because it hasn't really proven that Garena, which had a game na Free Fire, is gonna grow their revenues. We saw nga that companies like Google, nagkaroon lang ng deceleration on Google Cloud, binentahan na ng 11%. What more for companies like Sea Limited? What happens if they report earnings that are un, that are not doing great, di ba? So what if Sea Limited continually loses subscribers for their gaming segment in Garena? So I think what's gonna happen for Sea Limited in the short term, just like what's happening with companies like Disney, it's gonna take a while. To be clear, I think that these stocks will have resistances at $60 if it rallies there. So for Sea Limited, it looks like it's trading with a very, very wide range. You've got supports at $35, but a lot of resistance so far at 60. So far for Shopify, we're also seeing tremendous selling pressure at $60 and $70. The gains were not sustained, and Shopify so far has even broken the $50 area. It used to be that that was a gap up. Take note that that was broken down. Shopify reminds me of what happened with Marvel Technology. There was a strong gap up because of earnings, but after 3 to 6 months, it looks like it's just going back towards those prices. No, the 47 area of Shopify is the same price in March and May, way before the announcement on Shopify selling the Flexport business, which is their logistics arm. So what we're seeing here, guys, is Shopify. It looks like what the market is saying to us, just from a chart perspective. Even if this has good news, or even if, let's say, e-commerce is not as bad as you think, we saw from Amazon's numbers, it's not as bad as people think. We saw from Visa's resilient consumer spending that it's not as bad as you think. It looks like the market would rather shoot first and then ask questions later. What it means is that Shopify is being traded in 2024 na, okay, maybe there is resilient consumer, but I'd rather take my money and run first, no? So Shopify, we're seeing a lot of pressure, selling pressure at 56 and 60. So rallies on Shopify will likely be sold off from the way the market is behaving even before the earnings. Guys, minsan ingat tayo kasi hindi pa lumalabas yung earnings, nagkakaroon na ng opinion yung market. Now, the market will of course correct itself. Possible naman na, oh, maganda yung earnings ni Shopify. But usually, even if good earnings, what the market is already showing to us is, the behavior is, okay, Shopify from 47, baka mag-56 yan, but selling pressure at 56 remains. So just be mindful, especially if resistances or supports are now becoming resistance. Kasi resistance na ngayon ang $56 for Shopify. That was a previous support, naging resistance. And I would surmise, guys, na even if NVIDIA, kahit di pa lumalabas yung earnings, I would surmise that NVIDIA, no matter how great the profitability is and the outlook, if it will break below 460 and 450, we can clearly say that the bears have won. So far, the bears are winning. Lahat ng earnings pinapatulan ng market in a sell on good news fashion. Sell on good news and bad news becomes sell further nangyayari. Look at what's happening with Wayfair today. Wayfair is the furniture shop for a lot of houses. Online furniture shop dropping from $80 to $39, half the price. In some ways, what Wayfair is sharing to us, or how the market, kasi that was just 3 months ago, from July until the day, binibentahan si Wayfair like this. So ganito lang yan. Even at 40, kung mag-rally man yan with good news, the market has already given its vindication or opinion that hanggang $60 lang ang iaangat ni Wayfair. There's tremendous selling pressure at companies in the e-commerce side. Best Buy company, this is a company that sells your laptops. This is a company that sells a lot of electronics. And you can see that from 2021 till 2022 till 2023, this year, it only recently went as high as 80 plus, no, 85. So hanggang dun lang, and then it got met with tremendous selling pressure. So from a retail standpoint, what Best Buy is saying is, Nako, huwag kayo masyado maniwala sa Apple na nag-trade sa $175, $170 because if you just check the volume of sales that's coming out from online retail and physical retail stores of companies like Best Buy, mukhang lahat sila nag-agree na weak talaga yung industry. So Best Buy is actually trading near back to its June 2023 lows, below pa nga nun, and then bumabagsak pa sa 2022 lows. So this one just shows to us a picture na if there is something to be learned from all these charts, semiconductor industry is saying mahal si Apple, PC industry is saying na mahal si Apple. So if there's a Magnificent Seven that we are skeptic about, Apple is one of them. Now, this is Dick's Sporting Goods. Take note, there was a massive gap down from 140s down to 110 and now trading at $104. Take note that Dick's Sporting Goods is helping companies like Nike, Adidas, Onon, all of these footwear stores. But just like what happened with Foot Locker, just like what happened with all these Burlington stores, we're seeing clearly na sell-off yung nangyari sa Dick's Sporting Goods. So if you want to ask my opinion, the market already said na sell Dick's Sporting Goods. DKS is a downtrend and it may actually fall down towards $80. Hindi pa lumalabas yung earnings for the quarter, but the market is already saying na even if this rallies, Dick's Sporting Goods will get a lot of tremendous selling pressure at 125, 127. No? So even if this goes up, marami pa rin magse-sell off. Now, what's happening with Lululemon? Lululemon is one of those stocks na at least nandyan pa sa $400. But we saw na, I actually shared na lahat ng good news binibentahan. So this was included in S&P 500, but that inclusion was good news that was sold off. It went down from $420 to $388, $390. And even if hindi pa lumalabas yung Lululemon earnings, again, what I'm saying is that if on earnings standpoint, maging good earnings man yan, what happened to Microsoft? Good earnings, binentahan. So I would assume, guys, Lululemon, if it has good earnings, bebentahan yan. Right now, Chipotle, good earnings. I would surmise, guys, Chipotle tonight at 1.9, it might get sold off. So you want to observe what's happening in good news, and if there's a pattern to be observed, lahat ng good news, guys, binebentahan. Wait lang fast lang. Wait up. Hello? Yes. Ay, umalis na po. Sino po to? Ay, ano po ba yung pinag-usapan niyo with Ma'am Annabelle? Sabihin ko sa kanya. Oo, dapat go yun. Oo. Late confirmation lang. Oo, sige. Yes, ma'am. Oo, meron din. Yes. Grabe, late na. Nandiyan pa kayo sa bangko, 6:30 na. Oo. Marami kasi nagmamadali, no? Kasi mag-long weekend. Opo. Si Nikito. Yes, I work with Ma'am Annabelle. Thank you rin. Alright, sige. Bye. Hello? Hi. Yeah. So far we're seeing actually that Five Below is one of those discount retail stores, and let's review, no? Ang daming charts, but it will help show to us what's really happening in the economy. So Five Below is kaya siya now na Five Below is similar siya sa mga dollar stores, $5 below. So far si Five Below also shows us the weakening of the consumer. And this has been going down since about March, then April, then June, July, and then we think na here at 175, actually bearish trend. Actually, this is a stock that you may want to have a short position. Marami tayong nakikita na mas maraming short setups talaga. So, given mas maraming short setups, totoo nga na the bears are in control. We have to be aware na kung mag-bounce man tonight or next week, kung mag-bounce man, bibilhin ng tao is, yes, they're still gonna buy Nvidia, they're still gonna buy those companies like yun nga, Palo Alto Networks, pero even if bilhin nila yon, they might also continue to sell off the market. So companies like ito, Five Below, bebentahan yan. Mercado Libre is one of those few names that the market is buying as well. Crowd nila yan, binibili nila yan. So far, Mercado Libre is trading above 1.1, pero there's also resistance at 1.4. So Latin America is looking to be gaining ground. This was evidenced also but by what Visa said. So far, nagiging strong pa si Mercado Libre. Amazon is also still strong above 200-day. We're still seeing a lot of buyers at 120, and we are seeing na resistance also at 140. So far, yung mga, even the strong ones, guys, even the likes of Amazon, it's range bound. So if you're wondering, if you buy a Google, let's say you buy at 120, binabagsakan ngayon si Google, what you know is that it's range bound. May buyer sa 120, may seller din sa 140. How about with companies like Levi Strauss? Some retail names walang buyer, dire-diretso pa rin yung sell-off for companies like Levi Strauss. TJX company is one of the company na above 200-day and above highs of 2021. That is a feat. So we're seeing actually companies like TJX, one of those few names na discount store na the market went to buy. TJX, Walmart, Costco. Those are very few department stores or retail stores that are hovering highs. Ito yung mga only few generals that are carrying the market higher. Ross Stores is also one of those few names that are still above 200-day moving average, but still actually sideways. It's not weak, it's not strong, it's just neutral. Etsy is very, very weak. This is a retail company that went from 300 to 160 and now to 60. Whether this goes down towards 40 or 30, I don't know, but it looks like it's very, very weak. Target Corporation, it's still very weak, and we know that initially the drops were happening because of the woke segment. The American consumer is weak; they're not able to handle their inventory well. So take note that Target is going down, whereas Walmart is going up. It looks like the market's observation is two things. No, even if Target goes up for those bargain hunters, it will have selling pressure at 130. At the same time, if it goes down and down and down, unfortunately, Target can go $90, $80, even $60. So the 200-day moving average or the bearish trend on Target Corporation is still intact. In case you're wondering, what's the view on Target? Again, it's twofold. It depends on your zoom out ka. If you're zooming out, the Target Corporation can actually, just like Disney, become a contrarian bottoming out play. It will take time, guys. It's going to take about 6 months to a year to really prove the Target Corporation it's going to be back on track with good numbers. Hindi naman, well, the thing about these companies is that they will earn money. However, we don't know whether makaka-advance na ba yan. If the sector outlook of macro issues is gonna play out, then these stocks may even get more discounted. So be aware lang na Target Corporation is down at 110, but can it go 90? It looks like it's a flip of a coin. Honestly, with the market still weak, Target might still go down towards 90. Might. It's a 50-50 call. Dollar Tree. Some people are saying that Dollar Tree is weak, no, and it's going down. American consumers are cash trapped. You've got lower spending, and so companies like Dollar Tree might also, just like Target, fall towards 85 because their consumers are very much the same consumers of rural America. No, so Dollar Tree, Dollar General, very weak. At the same time, you might be questioning why is Costco and Walmart strong if Dollar Tree and Dollar General are weak. Two things: the market is overpaying for Costco and Walmart. That's one. It's possible na ganon, overpayment for that. So pwede rin laggard effect na just now, Dollar Tree and Dollar General are going down. It could be na because of a lag effect, babagsakan din si Walmart and Costco over time. So hintayin mo rin. It looks like si TJ Maxx, malakas ngayon, it could actually trade below $80 next year. For all you know, there's a lag effect for some strong companies like these. Let's take a look at Elf Beauty. This is also a lag effect. Initially, we were saying that Elf Beauty was going up and up and up because of earnings. But you're now seeing that people are now pricing in, what if these Americans are not able to buy Elf Beauty products anymore because they're thinking about student loan repayments or any other credit card payments that are still due. So you're seeing Elf Beauty already shave off those gains from 140, it's now $104. The risk is that Elf Beauty might even trade all the way towards $80. All those gains are now getting wiped out. No, bumabalik na yan sa May, And this might even, because this is a very strong performer, Elf Beauty might even go $60. So be careful for high flyers, because we've seen high flyers with high valuations get sold off. Elf Beauty actually reminds me on Celsius. So Elf Beauty and Celsius are actually one of those very, very strong names with strong quarters, but it might actually be a tremendously selling opportunity, a good selling opportunity. Listen to our stocks discussion today. I know that it's long, but there's a lot of charts that are showing pressure. Ulta Beauty, which is a larger format of beauty, is already showing weakness ever since, no? 560 and 480 and 380. This also is weak for Estee Lauder, no? So we're seeing actually beauty or makeup products, it's weak. And why do you think that's so? Maybe some people are not affording beauty products anymore. Maybe that, or basta in general, spending on consumer discretionary, it's showing to us weakness. Okay. This is Macy's department store, weaker and weaker and weaker. 38, 24, 12. For all you know, next year, $7 na lang yan. This is Steve Madden, a shoe company, also just $32 and also weak. American Eagle Outfitter, yes, it's strong this year. From about $10, this rallied near $20, but my observation is that it may have a hard time at $20. American Eagle Outfitters might end up getting sold there. Designer brands, it's also hovering lower lows, lower highs. So we're seeing actually the industry on shoes is weak. Ralph Lauren, the industry, even on these t-shirt and polos, Polo Ralph Lauren is relatively strong here at 120, but it might actually go down to 90 or 100 if you ask my opinion, because the overall sector industry is weak. Retail is weak. Victoria's Secret lingerie is going down from $80. It's now trading at $18. It might even hit $10. Tapestry is going down from 48. It's now 28. For all we know, it goes $12 by next year. Alibaba Group is an e-commerce name in China. We saw that A shares in general are very weak. So Alibaba, even if this goes up, we know that there's tremendous selling pressure at 90 and 100 so far. And yes, there has been talks that Alibaba will restructure, spin off by next year, 2024. But until it breaks above $100 or 120, this remains within a buy low, sell high pattern. And Alibaba, however, is still a sell. Nagkakaroon ng selling pressure at 100 and 120, no matter if people talk about the valuation, Alibaba is tremendously cheap, and so on. This is JD.com, also the same. All these China slowdown are making all these stocks go down 80, 90%. JD.com is not an exception. It might even trade at $20. Unfortunately, yes, it's rallying at 26, but take note, at $40, a lot of selling pressure for JD.com. So, unfortunately, for names like these, if you're trapped, it may take a while, no? Nangyayari is, unfortunately, hindi pa rin nagkakaroon ng upswing sa China, and it's evidenced on JD, Alibaba, HSI, A shares. Only Pintuoto is the outlier, and I would assume that even Pintuoto may get sold off over time. Let's take a look on some payments segment. MasterCard just broke down $380 to 366. This means that Visa, no matter how good the numbers were, is also at risk, no? The $240 can end up going to $220 and $200 for Visa. Visa right now is trading at 234. It may go down to $200 because of, not due to Visa's problems, but market wide. So it's actually an opportunity if Visa goes down because it's strong. But yun nga, why pay 235 when you can get it at $200 or even $180, diba? How about Coinbase? Coinbase, we're seeing sell-offs at $80, $88, $90. People use the rally on Bitcoin to sell off Coinbase. And people have always been selling all these Bitcoin ETF speculation, BlackRock entering the rally Bitcoin. It's been sold off. So far for Coinbase, it's been sold off at $180, $90. And it might actually go towards $60 and $50, although it may take time. Kasi so far, hindi naman siya nagbe-break down below 60 just yet. Block, which is Square or payments, is still hovering down below $42, $41. The last time that this went down, the only low that we've seen on Square was $32. If you ask me, I think that it's tremendously exaggeratedly being sold off. But that's just my opinion. And at $30, $40, I think that it's a value play, a buy. But you've got a lot of selling pressure definitely at $60 above. So until that $60 gets broken, all of these fundamental value, you'll just say, oh, it's pointless. All these value play, it's not happening. There's no momentum. A firm is also getting sold off at $20 and $24. So far, it's happening to be trading in a range. At 17, 18, 19, you might get some selling pressure. At 12, 13, 14, you might get a lot of buyers. So a firm looks to be in a trading range. How about apparel? Nike, at $100, it's been sold off. At 90, 80 below, you've got a lot of buyers. So what you trade with Nike is very clear. 100, 110 is a sell. 90, 80 below, you've got some buying pressure. Leaning fell down, bad numbers, so new lows for leaning. Anta, still weak, new lows. So you're seeing actually that from an industry setup, Nike is one of the strongest ones. But because just being strong is not enough, the entire industry in sports is weakening. So Dick's Sporting Goods is a sell. Nike at 100, 110 is a sell, and only a buy if it goes 90 and 80. No? So you have to be aware of the valuations. Abercrombie and Fitch is still strong here at 64 and $60. However, because the entire sector nga is very weak, this may actually get profit taken towards $50. So be a little bit cautious then, even with the strong names. American Eagle Outfitters, as I said, some pressure at $20. Gap is going up, but as we can see at $16, there is some selling pressure. Guess is going up here at 21, but at 25, selling pressure. Housing stocks, what's happening with Zillow going down from 25 to 55? It's now pulling back all the way to 38. Might reach 25 again. Pult Group, it went as high as 88. And this one is one of those names that have been constructing houses. We know that there is a shortage of houses because everyone in US finds that buying a house is very expensive. So they would rather just construct a house. It's cheaper to construct a house. However, 88 to 72, we're seeing people also take profits. So this is one of those names that I think the people will buy on dips. But if you can get it at $60, why not? Okay, KB Homes also being bought on dips at $40. But yun nga, again, these are some names na, if Google goes down, if Tesla goes down, if KB Homes goes down, people would rather want to buy it lower lows and lower and cheaper. So we know that these names are getting bought, but they might actually try to avoid first and watch if they can get a bigger discount. What's happening with fast food sector? Darden restaurants, all the gains have been wiped out from 170 to 140 since July 21. What this means is that all those gains are sold off. The restaurant sector or the consumer discretionary sector is being priced in by the market to be less sales going forward. We're seeing blooming brands also being sold off. We're seeing Wingstop perhaps being sold off here at $185. This might be an opportunity to sell. Celsius Holdings, as I said, just like ELF, it's being opportunity to sell. Jack in the Box is going down at $60. This might even hit 50 or 40 opportunities to sell. What's happening with Dutch Bros is just hovering new lows, new lows. So Starbucks is going down. It looks like these are selling off. First Watch Group also looks to be a selling pressure here at 17. Cafe de Coral, this is a Hong Kong name, also showing you downtrend. $15 went down to 8. Yes, it rallied to 10, but this might also get sold off at 10 and 11. So still a lot of selling pressure for Cafe de Coral. Nayuki Holdings, you might have some buying pressure at 370, but at $5, this gets sold off. Heidi Lau, you might get some buying pressure at 16, but at 23, 25 gets sold off. So we're seeing actually that names are trying to hover and bottom out, but it's not going to be an easy path out. Red Robin Gourmet Burgers, new lows. Chipotle, as I said, even if it has good news, we expect Chipotle at 1900, 1950 to be sold off. Eventually, even the good numbers will be sold off, and that's clearly happening even on the fast food sector. What's happening with Texas Roadhouse here at $100, $105 being sold off? What's happening to Papa John's Pizza? It's getting sold off. $63 from 140, it's now 63. It may even hover down to 50. So don't be surprised if Domino's Pizza goes down back to $300. Shake Shack is doing 55. Will it go down to 50 or 40? It looks like from a trendy perspective, yes, the fast food sector is going down. Starbucks at 93. We know that $100 is being sold off. Will it go down to 80? Looks like there's some sell side pressure for Starbucks. Okay, Yum China. This one owns KFC in China, also selling off. At $60, it looks like people will sell it off towards 45 or 48. So wait for lower lows. McDonald's, as you can see, it traded below 280 and 300. Even McDonald's is being sold off. This might be a great buy at $200. So wait it out. Just wait for it to go down. Restaurant Brands is the owner of Burger King, Tim Hortons, and what do they own again? Tim Hortons, Burger King, and another one. I think they own Pizza Hut. Hindi. Pizza Hut is Yum China. They own Popeye's Kitchen. There. Okay, so Restaurant Brands is double top here at $80 and now trading at $70. And just like McDonald's getting sold with selling pressure, we expect QSR to also fall down to $60. So expect 10% downside on these names. Domino's Pizza, I expect it to go down to 300. Expect it to go down. Social media stocks, Snapchat going down at $9, $10 being sold off. Pinterest getting sold off at $24. Magnite selling off, probably new lows. You've got companies in more apparel names, just to show to you how sporting goods are just weakening and weakening. VF Corporation, which handles North Face, it's going down, new lows. Taiwan Semiconductor, another company, sorry, nag-back tayo sa semiconductors, but yeah, very weak. You can see that. MasterCard, very weak. Microsoft being sold off. Meta Platforms being sold off, Nvidia being sold off, Tesla being sold off, Google being sold off, Advanced Micro Device sold off, Apple sold off, Visa looks to be sold off, Netflix, I think it will get sold off, Adobe looking to be sold off, Amazon up but sold off at 125, 130 looks to be sold off. Okay, so Li Auto got up, but again, you're seeing that these stocks, even in the Chinese sector, EVs are being sold off. This double topped at 170, 180. Any rallies on Li Auto at 170 being sold off. So continue to sell if Li Auto rallies there. Baidu, the AI play of China is sold off from 135. It's now 107. Rallies towards 120. We look to sell it off. Tencent, however, it's been hovering at 330, but it broke down. So if this rallies to 340, unfortunately for Tencent, it will get sold off. JD, new low. So if it rallies towards 120, it will get sold off. Albemarle, it's down towards 2021 lows. So these EV names, even the lithium miners are suffering. If this rally towards 150 and 170, we're seeing selling pressure off. Okay, so you heard me say sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off. So to recap, what did we learn? Number one of the things that we can do is, okay, we will sell off companies like Amazon if it matches or resistance or rejects resistance at $132. That's one. If ELF or Celsius Holdings goes up, it's a selling pattern. Chipotle at 2,000 is a selling pattern. It looks like there's a lot of selling pattern, such that even if we rebound today, it is telling us that, okay, we can rebound, but the bears are still in control. So that's it. Will there be a year-end rally? From the looks of it, it depends on how low we go. From 4.2 SPY, we can go 4,000. If we rally towards 4.2, people will still consider it a year-end rally. But before we hit 4.2, we may go down the drain first. Okay, so we'll see, no? Or we can rally tonight and yet killed next week. Why? Because next week, your Federal Reserve will talk again about the last rate hike or more rate hikes. So, yun. Let's just be aware and know that from looking at the charts, the bears are in control. Thank you po. Bye-bye.